Hi everyone, thank you and welcome to another edition of Single and Married with Ezzy. I am very excited to have you today and we are gonna have fun. I have a very interesting topic, but before I go there, I'm just going to introduce myself for those who are perhaps watching me for the very first time. My name is Ezzy Odimoko. I'm a mom, I'm a pastor's wife, and I absolutely enjoy speaking about relationships. I'm the author of 2 books, one that is new, brand new. My launch date is next week, Sunday, July 4th. The title is Brighter Days, 100 Thoughts of Hope, Love, and Blessings. Beautiful, beautiful book that will give you inspirational thoughts for each and every day. It's a book that you can read in one sitting. It's a book that you can use as a devotional guide. It's a book that you can use for Bible study group, for home fellowship group, for youth group. Honestly, it is an amazing book for everyone in the family. So this is not one of those books that you just buy one for the family. I would recommend you get one for each of your children. You know, my kids have theirs for each of their devotions. You have yours. You can give one to your spouse, and one for everyone. It's an amazing book. You will enjoy having it. So that is Brighter Days, 100 Thoughts of Hope, Love, and Blessing, to give you hope for each and every day. And of course, most of you know already about my first book, Relationship Smart, Love, Courtship, and Marriage for Every Woman. Amazing book. I wrote this back in 2014, but the content is still very, very relevant today. Amazing book. Talks about communication, couple communication, talks about defining your relationship, and even talks about what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So back to today's topic. Today's topic is silent love killers. Okay, we're going to be talking about 7 silent love killers. What do I mean by love killers? So I mean things that can literally kill a marriage without a person knowing, kind of kill it slowly. We don't want that, right? So we want to shed light on these silent love killers and empower you so that you don't let that happen to you. You don't become that person, right? That a spouse, walks out on or says, you know what, I can't do this anymore. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. So make sure if you're watching me, share it with your friends, share it with your family. It will help somebody, right? So even if you're single or you're married, it doesn't matter how long you've been married. Anyone can use this information, right? So we're talking about silent love killers, okay? What is that thing that can kill a marriage quietly, silently? Right? What is that thing that can stifle a relationship and just kill the affection that is in the marriage? Sometimes without the partners or the marriage partners being fully even aware of what damage or what harm is on their marriage, right? So that's what we will talk about. So if you're ready, let's jump right in and take number 1. And I call it criticism, right? So I'll give you a reference. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21. So that's Proverbs 18:21. The Bible says there very clearly, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. So death and life, there's so much power in our words, in our spoken words, in our mouths, right? So much power, death and life. So if you want to kill something, you got the power. If you want to make something live, you got the power. So that is really what this scripture is, what I'm basing, what I'm going to be sharing with you today on, right? So the first one I said is criticisms. We're talking about 7 silent things that can kill a marriage, a relationship so quickly, so fast, and quietly, right? So what is criticism? So that's that everyday criticism, constant disapproval, fault finding. You never see anything good in what your partner is doing, right? So example would be, you complain about how they eat, you complain about how they work, you complain about how maybe they fix their hair, you complain about everything. You just criticize, right? And so when that happens, when that becomes a constant in that relationship, that person can pretty much drain the energy from the spouse, drain the energy from the partner, and literally drain the energy from the marriage. You don't want that. So that constant nitpicking, that constant criticism, that constant fault finding, with everything, that is the number one thing that can kill a marriage, and the person doesn't even know what happened. So you want to stay away from that. If you find yourself, sometimes people who tend to be very perfectionist, they can be, critical. But if you find that you tend to be critical, just become more aware. You can ask your partner to tell you when you're beginning to sound like that, and so you can help and walk yourself back from it, right? It's not going to happen overnight, so don't overstress. But if you pay attention, and if you mean well, you want to work at it, I'm sure that you will get there, and you will find that there will be improvement in that area. Okay, so let's jump to number 2. So for those just joining me, our topic today is 7 silent love killers. So 7 things that kill your love silently. All right. So the first was criticism, to the second, sarcasm. So what do I mean by sarcasm? So that is kind of like that harsh or cutting remark, that bitter, irony that people tend to throw, at their spouses here and there, sometimes in private, sometimes even in public, right? So when a person or a couple are given to being sarcastic of one another, what happens is that it begins to pull down, and it begins to destroy that other person's self-esteem and their ego, and just their well-being, emotional well-being, and they begin to feel and think of themselves less than they really are. So you begin to hurt that person really emotionally, and that is something you don't want to do. So that's something that really, really hurts the marriage, and you want to stay away from that, right? 7 silent love killers. We go to number 3, bitterness. Bitterness, right? Even the Bible talks about it. We find that in Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 31, it says, let all bitterness, all wrath, all anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away with all malice, right? So the Bible talks about it, bitterness. What do I mean by bitterness? That means, when something has hurt you inside and you are not communicating it, you're not sharing it, you're not speaking about it, you just hold it down and hold it in, and it makes you become bitter toward your partner, toward your spouse, and everything you do is just coming out from that bitter place. That can really be dangerous. That can kill a marriage and any relationship fast. Right? So when things have happened that really hurt you in your relationship, you want to talk about it. And yes, I understand that there may be times where it's not easy to talk about it with your partner, or where the other person is not actually listening or cooperating. And that is where you seek help, right? So that you can get to the bottom of it sooner than later, right? You seek help. It could be a trusted relative, it could be your pastor, it could be your home fellowship leader, it could be anyone that is, trusted person in the community, someone that you know that has godly values that both of you trust and respect. They may be able to step in and help you to resolve that issue. But when you keep bitterness within, and it latches on and takes on its roots, it is deadly and it can destroy your relationship. We don't want that, right? Okay, let's move right ahead. We are now on number 4. So remember, if you're joining us right now, our topic is 7 silent love killers, right? Things that can kill, destroy, harm, hurt the marriage, or the relationship silently. Okay, so number 4 is anger. Anger, right? So even the passage we read, Ephesians 4, you can write that down and you can look at it later. Ephesians 4:31 says, let all anger, clamor, evil speaking be put away. Anger is such a toxin in a relationship, right? What do I mean by that? Who wants to be in a place where they are terrified? Who wants to be in a relationship where they are afraid? Who wants to live in a relationship where they are just scared to be themselves, right? Nobody wants that. And so that can really harm your relationship. So if you are a person who is given to anger, you're huffing and puffing and matching across the rooms and the house, up and down, and you're terrifying everyone, and you don't want to change, I can tell you right now that you're just counting the days of your relationship, right? Because nobody wants to feel that way. So that is something that you can take steps to adjust and to address and seek help. There are all kinds of resources out there and help, right? For people who are challenged with that negative emotion. That is not something you want in your home, in your marriage, and it can kill your relationship quietly. So that is anger. We're going to jump to number 5. So that is malice. What is malice? So that is when, the couple stops speaking to each other. They're not talking. They're not communicating. And they just walk around the house, keeping malice, not talking to each other, not trying, or if they talk at all, is very minimal, maybe monosyllables. What did you do? I did this. Where you come? When are you coming? I'm coming now. Things like that. And they're not really communicating. That is one sure way to kill that marriage. And you absolutely don't want to do that, right? So if you find that communication is strained, and both of you can't help yourself, again, that is a good time to reach out for help. Seek help from trusted people around you, licensed marriage counselors, Christian ones. Look for your pastor, look for your home fellowship leader, look for family members who love God and whom you trust. And they can help you to broach that topic and address the underlying issues and hopefully help you guys get back to talking terms, right? Because what you feed will grow and what you starve will just die. So when you starve that marriage or that relationship of communication, right, it will die, because communication is the life of every relationship. It is key, it is important, it is central to the well-being of your marriage. So no, it is not okay to keep silent. It's not okay to keep malice. It's time to start talking. It's time to start having those conversations. Start little and start with little non-threatening topics. And soon you'll be able to see that you guys can manage more difficult, more complex conversations, right? Okay, let's jump right ahead to the next one. Number 6, we're talking about unforgiveness. Okay, so things that kill a relationship, that kill love silently. unforgiveness. Okay, what do I mean by that? So that's when it is hard for you or your partner to forgive the other person and to let go of that past hurt, right? Of that past thing that happened. Unforgiveness, not being able to let go, not being able to forgive, not being able to not hold the other person accountable for, responsible for your pain and your hurt, right? And I know sometimes it can be really difficult. Things can happen, but what I am saying is that if not resolved, if not taken care of, can actually result in the death of that relationship. So you want to make sure that you take care of it. If there are issues that happen, you bring it up in a safe way and people can talk through it. If the person asks for forgiveness, you ask for God's help to help you to forgive, right? And then you guys can really close that chapter and move ahead. And then you try to avoid the urge to always bring that back, and to always open that up, right? And just move forward. And if you really are intentional about it, and if you really desire to forgive, with God's help, I'm sure you'll be able to. And so we jump right to this last one I call it selfishness, right? So selfishness, we're talking about 7 silent love killers. Selfishness is number 7, right? A lot of times you see marriages where couples are very, very selfish. They forget that their spouse is essentially them. The Bible says that the two become one, right? And the Bible also says to love your wife how you love yourself, right? And so when we allow selfishness to take hold, it will destroy big time. And what do I mean by selfishness? It's evident in all little things, do you tend to spend on yourself alone? Do you share? Are you open? Are you transparent with the resources that God has blessed you guys in that relationship, in that marriage? Is it all about you and what makes you happy? Do you take your spouse into consideration when you're planning things, when you're doing things, or anything at all, right? So in a marriage, in a relationship, when you care for the other person's interest and when you genuinely are selfless, your relationship will grow. But when it's all about you, right? It's all about you. Everything is all about you. It's either your way or the highway. I can tell you that relationship is not going to be a happy one, right? And you don't want that. So that is why you need to stay away from selfishness beginning today. Little things that you do, make sure you always say, how is my partner gonna feel about it? How is my spouse gonna feel about it? How is it gonna make her feel? How is it gonna make him feel? And if we always look after the other person's feelings, we are going to be making the right decision, right? But when we just focus on ourselves, we can be sure that we will allow selfishness to take root, and that is not good. So in summary, I just want to encourage you today, take little steps to make sure that these silent love killers don't destroy your relationship, because you know what? You never know, right? There's only so much a person can take. So work hard at it. Nurture your relationship. Nurture your marriage. Don't be critical. Don't be, always complain about your spouse. Don't be bitter. Don't be angry. Don't be unforgiving. And be selfless. And when you do these things, I can assure you, your relationship will thrive. And so till next time, it's goodbye. I want to give a shout out to all of you who are sharing my posts, who are liking it, who are subscribing. So you may be watching this on Facebook or on Instagram or on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, if you're not following me on YouTube, you can search me out. It's Ezi Odimoko, and you can search me. You can log on and you can subscribe to my channel so that you get notifications when I'm online, right? So if you really like this topic, I would recommend that you go subscribe, and feel free to share with me what other topics you'd like me to address or talk about, or what questions you have, because I look forward to hearing from you. So till next time, don't forget to join me for my book launch. It's happening next week, July 4th. That is a Sunday evening at 4:30. I will have the link posted to this site. I will make sure that the link is posted. So join us if you're in the Edmonton area. I will be live at our church, which is All Nations Full Gospel Church here in Edmonton. And I will be live there signing copies for people. So feel free to join me and get your own physical author signed copy. All right. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.